Welcome into the Press Row Show, the #1 rated pregame, intermission, and postgame show. This side of the Mississippi, south the Arctic Circle, north of the equator. I'm Russ, that's Ant, and for the first time this season, the always dapper Kevin Kurtz is here on the Press Row Show. Intern Andrew on the ones and twos. Bundy doing radio. He'll be with us a little bit later on. Welcome into the second home game of the season. Gentlemen, Flyers coming off their first win of the season. Also happen to be their home opener. And tonight, instead of going to Darth Vladar, they're going back to old reliable, they hope, Sam Ersson. How are we feeling tonight?
This could be a tough matchup tonight. Coming off of that Florida game, I know they had a couple days off, a couple good I shouldn't say days off, but a couple days without playing, but 2 good practices. I don't know about this game tonight, Russ. We'll get into the picks a little bit later on, but I think this is a tough matchup for them. I don't know. Winnipeg's a really good team. They have the reigning Vezina Trophy winner. Can't hear us?
I can't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, there. That works.
Yeah. We got to let the tech people know, intern Andrew, that we need a new headphone.
That's not intern Andrew's fault.
No, I'm letting him know to let the tech people. He's the one who sees them. We don't get to see them, right?
That is true. That is
right.
True. Anyway.
But no, I think this is a tough matchup for them against the Jets. Kev, you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, you're right. They had a couple of days off. It's just a 2-game trip for them, and you would think at the beginning of the season, teams still have their legs underneath them, even if they have to fly a pretty healthy distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, if you're looking at it from the Flyers' perspective, actually, after tonight, your schedule is not – you never want to say easy for a team like the Flyers, but you're going to have Minnesota on the second of a back-to-back, and then you got Seattle, I think it is.
Yeah, and then you go to
Ottawa, no Brady Tkachuk, and then you've got, I think, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and Nashville to close out the month. So, if you can sneak even a point out of this game tonight, they'll be in a pretty good position to try and bank some before the end of the month, before Halloween. How's that?
Yeah, sounds good. Russ, you're busy over there. Okay, all right. I'll talk to Kevin.
I wanted to ask Kevin because he and I were going back and forth about this before. Kevin, I don't know if you know, but half of the Flyers have already been traded this week.
Yeah, we're packaging Emil Andre, Owen Tippett, and for what? Quinn Hughes and
and 2 first-round picks and a pick swap. Yeah.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes on the trade stuff right now. I mean, the email with I don't keep calling him email. With Emil Andre, my take on Emil Andre is they want to keep him around for now because they might need him as a left shot defenseman, as a depth guy. We know there's depth issues right now. What I question, though, is obviously we saw this team make some moves last year with trading Frost and Farabee. I don't think they necessarily view him as a long-term hockey fit, right? And that's nothing against him. That's not to say he can't be an effective NHL player, but it's pretty clear right now the coach wants size with his depth blue liners. He wants these guys to be able to penalty kill. Emil Andre does not penalty kill. So he's going to be in the minors for now until maybe a guy like, until somebody else probably gets hurt, frankly.
Can I really quick? I just want to pick your brain on this because we're all kind of, I think, typically at a little bit of a different mental plane on this one. But the idea of size being so important to a coach at this point in the year versus, when you're in the last 5-6 games of the regular season, you need to get every point.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, all right, if we're being real, maybe this is a bubble playoff team. Maybe. What's the harm of having a smaller blue line right now versus if Tocchet decided to do this at the end of the year? I'd probably agree with him on the size at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But for right now, why not have Emil Andre play? Why be afraid of the size thing? Where do you land?
Well, I thought he would stay I thought he did enough to stay in the lineup. A couple of things. Did you watch the behind-the-scenes in-house Flyers produced video that they put out today?
No.
No, not the one today.
So I watched it this afternoon. And, when guys make there were 2 scenes that stood out when they told both Nikita Grabenkin and Adam Yinning that they made the team, right? So you have to sometimes understand the human element of it. Do you want to send Adam Yinning down to keep Emil Andre when he made the team? Yinning hasn't been so bad that I think he deserves to come out of the lineup either. Igor Zamula has been, and he is out of the lineup. So I think you have to take that into effect a little bit. But in terms of the size, again, I thought Andre did enough to stay in the lineup, but Tockett's reasoning wasn't wrong either. The Flyers have taken too many penalties. They've been on the penalty kill far too often this season. And Winnipeg had the top power play in the league last year. So, if you can get away with putting Yinning and Noah Juleson out there to kill penalties effectively, which I think they've been decent at it, and then then you don't have to load up Sanheim with as many PK minutes, right? Or guys like that, or a Cam York, or a Nick Seeler, or whoever it may be. Then you keep those guys fresh for 5-on-5 play. So I don't disagree with Tockett's reasoning either.
Yeah, I think sometimes fans get caught up in the size versus skill.
Yes.
And debate. And that's really all that they look at. And they got the blinders on for the rest of what the hell goes on in a hockey game, right? And so I get it. I understand why they want to see Emil Andre, because they feel like he's an NHL defenseman and he should be playing in the NHL. There is when you're taking 5 penalties a game, like the Flyers have.
Yeah.
All right, and it's early in the season, and referees are going to call these things a little bit more tightly. After 15, 20 games, they'll lighten up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But that's the way they're going to do it. So you want to win these games, you are better off having guys, and this doesn't matter if it's size per se, but guys who play a little bit more physical defensively so that they can kill those penalties if need be, and sacrifice one guy. And he's the guy who you can move because of where his contract status is right now, right?
Yep.
You sacrifice that guy for now. That's not to say Emil Andre is not going to be up here and playing.
I'm sure we're going to see him again.
Right, playing games for this team and probably playing a bunch of games for this team. I just think in the moment, it's better suited for the Flyers to approach it this way.
Yeah.
And you get him, look, he played 10 minutes the other night. If for all the people who want Emil Andre up here, would you rather he play 10 minutes on your third pair in low-leverage situations at the NHL, really not developing his game, or playing 22 minutes a night in the AHL for the Phantoms as a top pair all situations guy?
And let's not forget, he probably would be playing if Cam York wasn't healthy.
Right,
So,
right, yeah.
Well, let's not forget, the Flyers are bringing in a defenseman that, to me, was the best player they had in training camp.
Yeah.
And he's going to slot back on the top unit again. So, again, you had your roster at the start of training camp. You give those guys a little bit. I think you give them some rope when they made the team out of camp. And I was talking about specifically a guy like Yinning. Juleson is a guy that I think, listen, he's not a superstar, but he had a terrible camp, but he's been fine the last couple of games.
Yeah.
He hasn't been terrible. He's still the only other right-hand shot you got other than Jamie Drysdale. So he does serve more of a purpose right now than Andre.
And keep in mind, once Rasmus Ristolainen is back in the lineup, Noah Juleson's probably the guy that's going to come out.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he is. So he's just kind of filling a spot for right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Guys, people do this all the time, and I can't tell you the last time that we sat here and we're like, oh, they should play this kid. They should play this kid. And they never play him. And then he goes somewhere else and isn't like a superstar. I mean, he's not.
That has happened with every team I've ever come
No. But I'm saying it's not that they don't.
Yeah.
There's they're not good, is what I'm saying. They don't become. Who was the kid that everybody wanted was a defenseman, and they ended up trading him to the Penguins? What was his name?
I could see him. He was like their 7th D.
A defenseman. And every fan thought he should be in the lineup. He was so damn good.
And he was outspoken when he landed in Pittsburgh, too.
You remember who this guy was?
It was like a year. It was last year.
No, it was a couple years ago. It was before
it 2
that.
years ago? It was it Mark Friedman? No.
Yes.
Mark Friedman?
Mark Friedman.
That was it.
You remember Mark Friedman?
I remember in San Jose a guy named Nikolai Goldobin who was like the 26th overall pick. And fans are up in arms. Nikolai Goldobin's not playing. They traded him to Vancouver, and he's in the KHL 2 years later.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah.
And just to backtrack, because you guys were talking.
David Schlemko, he's the other one. They love David Schlemko.
Yeah.
Anyway, not to get off topic.
It's all good. Just to get back to the whole rumor stuff. Look, there's names are always going to be discussed, right? And so I question sometimes why national people would ever put out about conversations that are being had in October. I mean, look, there's going to be conversation. There's always going to be conversation, right? And sometimes we find out about it.
Yes.
You know,
I'm sure Danny Briere probably has a list of 25 players he'd like to have, and he's probably calling GMs about right now.
Yeah. But he's also not looking to make the trade on October 16th.
Right.
If it materializes, great. But really, this is just doing the groundwork for later in the season.
Yes.
That's really what it's about. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Flyers won't trade Owen Tippett at some point, or they won't trade Emil Andre at some point. They absolutely may.
Yep.
But to put it out now is crazy.
Yeah.
It's silly. And I checked in with two people, one within the Flyers organization and somebody outside of the Flyers organization who would know, and both of them said total bunk. Like, this is just typical, day-to-day business in the NHL. There's nothing formulating here. So there you go.
So all the people who want to trade Owen Tippett, they have to wait at least another week. Got it.
I mean, it's not hard to look at a team's salary cap situation, look at who they have in the system, look at who else they have on the roster, and look at who doesn't have a no-trade clause and determine who they might move. We all do it, and sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. I mean, I think all of us around the team knew by November of last year that Morgan Frost probably isn't in their long-term plans.
Right.
And then, as Joel Farabee strung together games that were ineffective and had his $5 million salary cap hit, it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out this is a guy that they probably don't want to pay $5 million for the next 3 years. Yeah,
exactly. So those things, it's an ongoing process when it comes to, it's not like, all of a sudden, you hear that this guy talked to this GM and, the trade's going to come together in 20 seconds. That just doesn't happen. The only time there does get to be a little bit of craziness on deadline day. Yeah. Like, you have ideas and then you try and throw something at somebody. Maybe something comes together fast on deadline day or the night before. But in October, if you're discussing trades in October, it's not something that's going to come together overnight. Like, I bring you back to the Cutter Gauthier trade, which was in January. January.
Don't do that.
What I'm trying to say to you is that the trade happened in January. They started talking about it in the summer with teams. Yeah. Before that, they kept it under wraps, but they started talking about it with teams in the summer. That's how long that kind of thing went on. So if you're talking to teams in October, it doesn't mean that a trade is happening imminently. This is something for way down the road.
I also have to imagine, though, that in that case, they were probably still trying to convince him that it was still worth hanging around the team, being part of this thing going forward. Like, I know that things had soured by that summer.
Well, they sent Patrick Sharp and John LeClaire up there to try and talk to him.
And he refused to talk to him.
Yeah. So, yes. Well, remember, they flew to the World... I don't know why we're getting into this, but then they flew to the World Juniors.
Yeah.
Where were they? Sweden at the time?
Yeah, and he blew them off. Yeah, completely.
But, especially early in the season, teams are trying to figure out what they are, right?
Yeah.
If the Flyers reel off 7 wins in a row and Owen Tippett has a goal in all 7 of them, they're probably going to keep it.
Yes, it changes the calculus.
You're trying to figure out what these guys are, what these teams are, and you're trying to, that takes some time, especially in this sport where there's always a handful of teams. Like the Flyers 2 years ago, they got off to a great start. It was unexpected, right?
Yeah.
And other teams are if the Rangers end up losing, their next 5 games out of 7.
Good God.
Yeah, maybe they start selling. It's just the whole landscape changes in the NHL, especially, you think of all the sports, from opening night to Thanksgiving. It's sometimes there's all this crazy stuff.
Look, it's unbelievable. The landscape changes every day. So I'll give you an example with this Emil Andre thing, and I'm pretty sure that you can confirm this, Kevin. So a couple days ago, there was talk that Andre was going to stay.
Okay.
And that they would have to move somebody else out, probably waive Zamora.
Right.
They chose not to.
Right.
But they were talking about it and thinking about it, right? And so that was something that was certainly real, but they didn't end up doing it. Doesn't mean that they're not going to do it at some point. They're going to do it at some point. I think it's probably going to be when Ristolainen's ready to come back.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's when that is going to happen. But it's just because they were talking about, like, we put it out there, it didn't come to fruition. So, I worded it the right way. Said, hey, this It's something they're talking about. May not go this path. They might go a different route. And they went the route to send Andre back down. But it's something that they were conversing about. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It could certainly still happen. That's the world of the NHL. It changes daily.
The fact is, the Flyers are going to win or lose this game, probably not because of Adam Yinning. It's probably going to be because of Matvei Michkov, Travis Sanheim, Travis Konechny, and go on down the list.
Well, let's talk about Mr. Michkov while you brought him up.
All right.
I want to go back, since you're around the team all the time. I live too much online. You're online quite a bit. This one we don't need to talk about. It did not strike me as a main topic of conversation throughout the preseason that Matvei Michkov looks slow. Matvei Michkov looks big. Matvei Michkov doesn't look like he's in shape. Preseason didn't come up. We talked about this yesterday on our show when we were at Chickies and Pete's, but we were saying that there was a picture that came out from the guys playing golf, and Michkov looked like he was a little bit bigger. And it was like, oh, did he add muscle, whatever. I don't remember this being a topic during preseason. First regular season game, you go, he looks a little bit slow. Second one, he doesn't play overtime. Then it felt like the buzzards started circling.
Yeah.
And then after, and then over the course of the weekend, people started getting, themselves worked up. Oh, is he chubby? Is he out of shape? And then you get the ankle injury. Where did you land on it? And were there murmurs around the team, even prior to the public, I guess, kind of running with the bait?
Well, in hindsight, it's 2020, right? But in his first press availability on September 21st or whatever it was, early in camp, he's speaking through an interpreter, and he was asked by someone in our, it wasn't me, it was somebody else, about what did he do to change his off-season conditioning. And, because he spoke about how he was worn out with all the games, which you kind of expect, right? And there was a little thing in Russian, and Slava's interpreter kind of stopped him, and then he gave his answer, and then Slava said at the end, no disclosure. But I couldn't tell what they were saying. To me, it seemed like they were trying to not tell us something based on that question, right? But again, I don't speak Russian, so I can't confirm that 100%. I thought he looked sturdier. I thought he looked bigger when he's sitting behind a podium, so he didn't get the full effect. But I thought he looked bigger,
like he
and
filled
more
out.
bulkier.
Yeah, he filled out.
Yeah.
Not that he's Matvei Michkov.
No,
it's just that he was.
But obviously, you don't have to read between the lines now to realize that Rick Tockett's insinuating that his ankle injury set back his conditioning.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing that Tock said yesterday. I think it was either yesterday or the day before, but I think it was yesterday. I think it was your question, Kevin, when he brought up, or maybe it was the follow-up, I think maybe it was Charlie asked the question, it was the follow-up. And he said, he's a young player, he's 19, 20 years old, and, you got to talk to him about, what are you eating after games?
Yeah.
Why are you talking about his diet? To me, I think that's almost a slip-up. In a sense, that's not to say that the ankle injury didn't happen. It certainly could have happened. Yeah. Absolutely 100% could have happened. But that doesn't mean that's the only reason that he wasn't in the shape that they needed him to be to start camp. There could be other...
You think he was eating too much Dubai chocolate on vacation?
Two things can be true here, right? Right? So I think that's something else too. Why is he bringing up food?
Yeah.
He did it twice, actually. He brought up food. So, why? That has to be part of it, I would think. Because Rick's a rambler when he talks.
He is.
And so I think sometimes he doesn't want to say something, stops himself.
Yeah.
But sometimes things get out, and I think that's what he said.
Yeah, maybe. That could be all be part of it. But, at some point he better come around here. This team needs him, right? If Matvei Michkov isn't, if not your top offensive threat, at least one of your top two or three, your team's going nowhere.
Yeah, there's no question. There's no question about that.
I was going to say before we let him go, I don't know how long he has left, but there's a question that's permeating the chat. We're going to get into this with Bundy later, but I would like to get your thoughts. Obviously, today, word comes out, Carter Hart signed with Vegas. It's apparently a 2-year deal, $1.8 million cap hit each of those 2 years. They're supposed to play here December 11th. It's entirely possible he might be in net that night. Are you surprised that he was signed? I think that his first day of eligibility to sign was the 14th.
No, yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Are you surprised that he got that deal signed right away? Do you think Vegas is a good fit? And then I guess to the point of some fans, is this going to be Sergei Bobrovsky 2.0?
Go ahead. That's all you.
Oh, he wants to ask you. He asked you
That's
that
me.
question. I'll answer it too, but he asked you that
If
question.
you're talking from strictly a hockey perspective, I mean, they won a Stanley Cup with Aiden Hill. What's going on with their back? Who's their backup? I don't even remember.
Akira Schmidt,
Yeah,
right?
he stinks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. He's right. Kevin's right. He does stink. He's not good.
yeah. So, as from a hockey perspective, makes sense for both of them. I don't really feel like saying more than that, to be honest.
No, I hear you. It's and everybody's the same way, right? Like nobody wants to say anything because you're afraid of what, people coming back at you. You're afraid of what could end up being interpreted as, slandering a guy. Like there's a lot of things, right? Not Russ. Russ doesn't care. Russ will say whatever.
I'll tell you how I feel. Dang it.
Yeah, I mean, look, for the Golden Knights, does it make sense? For them, it certainly does. I just don't know. Like, how do you not play hockey for the better part of 2 years as a goalie and just suddenly figure it out and get back, and get that timing back and to not play at all, and then suddenly think you're going to jump into the best league in the world? Like, I don't get it from that perspective. If Vegas is looking at it like, we think we're a Stanley Cup contender and this is going to help us be that, that's a lot of work that's got to get done this season with him. So that's why it's a little bit of a head scratcher for me. I thought that if he was going to come back, he would be better off going to a team that is somewhat competitive, but maybe not like a Stanley Cup caliber team, like a Utah.
Yeah.
Like I thought Utah would be the spot for him. This one, and knowing Carter, and you know how he is, I
only covered him for half a year. I don't know him that well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wonder if the pressure of that situation is the best for him.
Well, it's not only pressure; it's also going to be that he's going to face vitriol everywhere.
Oh, well, we're not even getting into that. We're talking from a pure hockey perspective. That is a completely separate issue, and you're 100% right. 100% right.
We'll dive into this more with Bundy in a little bit.
Yeah, let Bundy talk about it.
I put Kevin on the spot. All right, there goes. Kevin Kurz.
Thanks, Kev.
Lovely guy. Again.
Read him in The Athletic.
Yeah, read him.
Read him in The Athletic.
Wonderful person. Look at him.
Thanks,
all right. Should we keep the conversation about that going or no?
Well, we can if you want. I mean,
I don't care.
The only other thing I really wanted to kind of get into Flyer-related pregame was the story I posted today on Jett Luchanko, which I know you wanted to talk about a little bit.
Jett? Yeah.
Jett against the Jets tonight.
Yeah.
Third straight game he's in the lineup.
Yeah.
They only can play him 9 before they have to make a determination. So with each passing day, another number clicks off that list. He could go play. So here's the thing, and I said this yesterday. I'll say it again in case people are watching tonight that missed the show yesterday.
So they should be watching the show every day.
They should watch every day. We're practically on every day at this point.
A lot of days.
But the Flyers are willing. I talked to someone in the organization who gave me this. So they will 100%, if he's here in the beginning of December, they will loan Jett Luchanko to Team Canada for World Juniors, okay? So that is a guarantee. So he's going to be away from the team regardless whether he's still with the team or he's in junior hockey.
Yeah.
He's going to be away from the team from the like early December. Last year was December 10th was the start of their camp through the end of the World Juniors, which is like the first week in January, like right after New Year's is when it wraps up. So they're willing to do that. But now that there are 3 games in, that he's going to have 3 of his 9 games used up within the first 4, there's like 22 or 23 games left before he would have to leave to go to that World Junior camp. Do you sit there and go, all right, we're only going to play him in 6 of those 23, but he's still going to practice with the team and be around the team and, learn the culture, learn what it's like to be a pro at this level with all these NHL players, and then send him to World Juniors and then make a determination at that point. Maybe you force Guelph's hand because by that point, maybe Guelph's completely out of it. Maybe they look and say, all right, we'll trade him to another junior team and then go, oh, okay, you're going to trade him to London? Great. Now you can go back and play in junior hockey because he's going to be on a great team.
Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you slow play it? Or do you sit there and go, all right, we do this for like another week or 2, and then we say, send them back. And,
Good luck, kid.
Yeah, and then we don't.
Bye-bye.
And then we don't. You can't come back until Guelph's eliminated at the end of their season, which is, towards the end of March, and then maybe he gets another 10 games with the Flyers before the season's over. Like, what's the better path? And I don't think either one is good, but what's the better path?
I think both paths stink.
They do, and that's why the rule's changing next year.
Yeah.
Right? The rule stinks. It's stupid. It's been a stupid rule for years.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it's changing a year too late for the Flyers. But if you had to pick, like, you have two stinky choices. Which one would you prefer?
I would actually be fine with him going back to Guelph with a very clear understanding that he is going to focus on his ability to score, to get rid of that hesitance to put the puck on net, and to actively try to make himself a multifaceted player. Because right now, you can see the vision, passing abilities there, the physical traits are there, the speed's there.
The speed is unbelievable.
Like he's strong,
super fast.
but he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and also I don't even know if he'd take a shot at the barn. That's the problem. And as a first-round pick, the expectation is going to be, even though he's young, you have to be willing to shoot, right? Like, you can't be what would essentially be like a third-line center.
And that's exactly what Tocchet said yesterday, and it's in my story, which is on Pattison right now. He said the thing, it's a mental block. He called it his quote, he called it a mental block for Jett Luchanko.
Get over it.
That he doesn't shoot the puck. He says he's in the middle of the ice. This is how honest he is, right? That's what I like about Rick. He's in the middle of the ice with the puck on his stick, and he's looking to pass instead of shooting the puck. That has to change.
Get a shot collar.
That has to change.
Every time he passes.
So anyway,
I think that, like,
and the other thing is, and
developmentally, if honestly, if the edict from the Flyers were, go to Guelph, work on your shooting, work on that part of your game, it doesn't matter if his team stinks or not. That is a thing that he can actually control. It's a low to no pressure situation because no one gives a damn about Guelph. No one cares, right? In the overall landscape of what his career is supposed to be, he can go down there and experiment. He doesn't have all the pressure in the world on him like he would here to perform. Go down there and work on shooting the puck. If he's going to do it, then that's the best place for him. Otherwise, I'd say just have him hang up here, right? Stretch out the 9 games, have him be around the team, practice with the team, practice under these coaches. And if Tocchet ultimately thinks that removing that mental block, right, is something he can do better than sending Jett back to junior,
where they have no control,
then keep him here. The problem, and Bundy brought it up yesterday on Snow the Goalie, which you should go watch or listen to, is if he stays up here the whole year, regardless of if it's 9 games or he plays, 30, 40, whatever, if he plays in the NHL and he's here all year or most of the year, and then next year you send him to the AHL for the season, it's going to mess with his head.
It can. It could. It certainly could. And the other thing is, and this is one that you got to be careful with too, like, it's one thing, and Tocchet said this as well, and as did other people in the organization that I spoke to, it's okay to play him 7-8 minutes for a couple weeks, like whatever, like your fourth line guy, he's getting out there just to kind of get the experience. But you can't do that long term. So if he stays here, he's got to play.
Yeah.
He's got to play more. You can't just play him. You can't keep him here and only play him 7 minutes on the fourth line. That's just as bad as sending him back to Guelph, right?
They just don't have a place to play him, though. We were talking.
Zegras is back on the wing again.
Zegras goes to the wing, but you're not going to play him at 2C, right? And you're not going to break up the Brink, Cates, and Forster line. So then it becomes, is that your new second line? And now Luchanko's centering a third line, which is probably going to have one of Konechny or Michkov on it, or a Tippett or whatever. And then you go, like, is that really a third line? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. The problem is he doesn't look ready for this level. And I won't fault him for it. He's 19. But if it's all about being a meritocracy and earning all your minutes, and he's not ready for this,
right,
and you're kind of forcing it, I'm not sure that that's the best idea either.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be the best thing for him is the thing that they can't do, and that's send him to the Phantoms. That's the best thing for him.
Yeah.
And if it means so the last thing to kind of take into consideration with all this is, if you keep him here beyond 9 games, you burn the first year of his contract.
Yeah.
Right? At 19, in a year that he's
not really supposed to be
not even supposed to be here. So, like, that hurts you down the road. So
it could.
So, certainly does, because it means he hits free agency a year earlier. right? And but I'm saying like it hurts you.
Well, I'm going to play but I can play the devil's advocate of it. So if they think that developmentally it's best for him to be up here and they burn a year of his ELC, but it means that next year he might be ready to play at this level, right? Because they feel like him being with the coaches. Then he's ready to play next year. Or maybe it's like a half AHL, half NHL season. Okay, yeah, you burned a year of the ELC, but he's ready at some point next year. If you send him back to Guelph and he doesn't develop, then all of next year is a straight-up AHL season where it also feels like he didn't develop this year. I worry about that stagnation year. That's the thing that I think they have to be more worried about, even more so than the ELC. He cannot have a year of stagnation then going into the AHL next year, because if, God forbid, he goes back to Guelph, doesn't develop, next year he goes to the A, hasn't worked on that scoring, and he's not tearing it up in the AHL, what's the first thing people are going to say next year? They're going to say it's a bust of a pick. And it won't matter that the public says that. The front office isn't going to change how they feel about it. But you're then going to have all this additional pressure because whether people want to admit it or not, you're seeing the guy that the Flyers chose versus the guy they didn't. Steve Bouillon might not be a great defenseman right now, but he's playing and contributing at the NHL level, and people will look at that on the face. Might be fair, might not be. But if he continues to contribute this year and he's playing again in the NHL next year and Luchanko's in the AHL and he's stagnated, that's where you start to lose that, like, you kind of like lose that public perception battle, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that might not mean anything, but it will happen, for better or worse. Like, we all know it'll happen. You know?
We'll see. All right, we got to get to
look
the
at this stud.
We got to get
stud
to
of a man.
Look
Look at
the
him.
Welcome back. The camera's offline here.
No, he's getting intern is already up.
He's up and moving.
It's not like when we had the Navy here the other night with
he moves with such alacrity.
I just saw Billy from South Philly.
Did you?
Yeah. He came and introduced himself.
Billy from South
I didn't know
Philly.
Billy from South Philly was going to be here
What
tonight.
a stud.
Yeah, he's here.
Absolute stud.
I hope he comes over and says hi later.
He might.
All right, we got to get to our picks for tonight. Bundy, why don't you go first tonight?
Yeah, I thought about this one, but I really like the way the Flyers have been playing here and to keep riding this early season momentum here at home in another game against a good team. I think the Flyers can take Winnipeg down. Connor Hellebuck has never won in Philadelphia.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's nuts, yeah. So I'm going to go 4-3 Flyers tonight.
I look at the Jets, and I know that they're missing a couple guys, right, in the lineup. I know Lowry's out.
Yep.
And who else? Somebody else is out, too. I forget who it is.
Cole Perfetti.
Yeah, that's it.
Perfetti,
Perfetti's out.
Intern.
Good. Way to go, intern. I think that so that makes it a little bit closer a game for me. And yes, Hellebuck's never won here. I'm just not 100% in on Sam Ersson. And you talked about this yesterday, Bundy, about how he played well against Carolina, but he still gave up 4 goals.
Yeah.
So in a game that he played well, he still gave up 4 goals.
Yeah.
Right? So, that's the thing. To me, I think Winnipeg's going to score on him, and I'm not sure the Flyers are going to be able to score enough on Hellebuck. So I'm going to take the Jets 4-2.
This is going to freak you out. I was going to use the exact same point that Bundy made yesterday, and I also had a 4-2 Jets score.
There you go.
And it's the same thing.
That's all right.
The same line of thing.
Yeah.
And for better or worse, I think you're going to have the goalie controversy, because if he gives up another 4 tonight, Ersson, you look at how Poldar's played, then it's all going to be like, all right, what are you doing on Saturday? Intern.
Low scoring game tonight. I'm going to go 3-1 Winnipeg.
3-1. All right.
3-1 Winnipeg.
Now we do have, just so everyone knows, we put this out through Twitter, so it's now live over on Twitter. We do the predictions. It's a season-long competition.
Yep.
You get 2 points for a correct score and result, 1 point for a correct result. At the end of the season, it gets tallied up. Allison, one of our wonderful listeners, does this all throughout the season. She keeps a large spreadsheet of it. The winner gets a prize at the end of the season. It's going to be a good one. And then we haven't done this. I think we should do a fantasy football thing. Like, the winner just gets bragging rights. I think whoever finishes in last should have a punishment this year.
Well, somebody suggested a good punishment for you for finishing in last year.
What?
So they suggested that since last year intern Andrew dressed up as you for Halloween, that you should have to dress up as him.
Okay. That could be fine.
And you guys could change.
One of you guys.
But change roles.
All right, we will be back in the first.
Did like that idea?
It's fine.
Brian, I think it's a great idea, Brian.
Second intermission and postgame here on the Press Row Show. Do us a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe over on YouTube. We'll have the StatCast up here while the game is going on. We'll be back for intermissions and postgame. talk to all of you very, very soon. Welcome into the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame, intermission, and postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, and north of the equator. It's a 1-0 game. It's not all that different than I think we kind of figured it would be. Low-scoring game. I think we all picked relatively low-scoring.
No, I didn't. I thought pick 7 goals.
I said,
Did you?
I said 6. So did you.
Oh, I picked 6 too, didn't I?
You start paying attention, Russ. Maybe you'd freaking understand what's going on here.
No. That's low scoring. In this league, early in the season? Okay. Connor Helbig's on pace to win his first game ever in Philadelphia. Flyers, not a lot of opportunities in that period. Where do you guys land after 1?
5-3 shots on goal in favor of Winnipeg. They put on a classic road period right there. I mean, they checked. They kept everything to the perimeter. They did not let the Flyers get to the interior of the ice, especially in the offensive zone. And they're just happy and fine being able to chip and dump the puck in the zone and get on a forecheck. Not an exciting period. And there's nothing much out there that was going to wow you out of your seat.
Yeah, there's nothing to really talk about other than the goal, where you sit there and say, I actually thought both defensemen they missed a responsibility there. More Drysdale than Sealer.
Yeah, on the goal?
Yeah. But I think that was, other than that, like, there's nothing else to talk about in that period. It was just, there was no room to get shots off out there.
Yeah, and the Flyers did a pretty good job too, clamping down on Winnipeg. Like, they really kept a lot of stuff to the outside. And when Winnipeg had chances, I know their goal was scored in the middle of the ice, right in the paint. But for the most part, a lot of the plays, they've really done a lot of good job of just funneling from the middle out, and that's been a good job by the Flyers and Winnipeg, who's done a marvelous job in that first period.
You know, you guys noted that there isn't much to talk about. It wasn't much of a period. There's not a lot to dive into necessarily. The atmosphere in the building, we have to be honest, on Monday night was fantastic. Packed house, raucous crowd. Tonight, not so much.
Well, there's nobody here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's disappointing. I mean, I would have thought, and look, the team's not where it needs to be selling out every game, right? We know that, and I'm not trying to suggest that it is. But, you know, there's a little bit more juice for this Flyers team, I think, this season than there was in either of the last 2 years. You come off of a pretty good start to the season where you get 3 points in 3 games against 2 very, very good teams. Yep. You win your home opener against the defending Stanley Cup champions. I know it's Winnipeg, and I know it's a Thursday night, and it's the first kind of crappy weather, temperature-wise day. It's colder today. By the way, it's freezing in this building.
It's so cold in here. I leave my jacket on the whole time.
I wore long sleeves and a quarter zip on top of it, and I'm still cold. Anyway, you would have thought there'd be better attendance, and it's not the upper levels, right? It's not the diehards. The guys in the people in the upper levels, they're pretty good attendance on the top. It's down on the bottom, man. Like, there are so many empty seats in the 100 level.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know if it's – I don't know why. I always say it takes a little while to get out of football season for some reason until people start coming out. But, yeah, there's a lot of empty seats in the lower level, which is very rare.
Yeah.
I have a conversation that has nothing to do with the game, and we can get to it in a little bit. I think first we should go to intern Andrew, because I think the other conversation will probably take us into the second period. So,
okay.
Without further ado, let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, the young intern Andrew, who is here with the stat of the night. Intern Andrew.
Got a couple things, actually.
Two stats of the night.
Going back to Monday night, Sean Couturier had 2 goals and 2 assists. That's the 3rd game in his career that he's gotten both multiple goals and multiple assists in the same game. The last 25 years, only 2 Flyers have ever done that 4 times. It's Giroux and Mike Richards.
So he's the 3rd Flyer in the last 25 years?
He hasn't done it 4 times yet. He's only done it 3 times.
3.
Only 2 have done it 4 times. Couple of milestones to keep an eye on, though, tonight. First of all, for the Flyers, Travis Sanheim needs 2 assists to pass Joe Watson for 5th most assists all time among Flyers defensemen. For Winnipeg...
No, wait. 5th amongst Flyers defensemen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Defensemen. All right. Fair.
Winnipeg, Josh Morrissey needs 1 assist to become that franchise's all-time defense assist leader. And then Mark Scheifele just needs 3 points to become that franchise's all-time points leader.
Wow.
He'll pass Blake Wheeler.
That's
He's at 8:10 right now. Wheeler was at 8:12.
Intern's bringing it tonight.
That's
Yes.
some good stuff tonight.
That's
Intern.
Couple of milestones to keep an eye on.
The
Do you have any
research
James
department.
Franklin stats?
Yeah, they're all bad.
If any of those things happen tonight, remind me. I'm the AP guy tonight.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, remind me.
The Josh Morrissey one is probably the most likely. He just needs the one assist.
The one assist.
He's tied with Dustin Bufflin right now.
Yeah.
Dustin
Bufflin.
Dustin Bufflin, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Came in, made a huge splash, big bang, and then he just fell out of the league after a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that he's that high on the Winnipeg. I kind of think of Bufflin when he was with Chicago.
Right.
More so than I associate him more with the Blackhawks than I do the Jets. But
Me too.
I guess he did play there for a while.
He was really good in Winnipeg for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, Bundy was asking a little bit ago there about James Franklin. I wanted to get intern Andrew's thoughts here. Number one target, it seems, or the guy that a lot of people thought was going to be the number one target of your Penn State Nittany Lions, Curt Cignetti, off the board. 8-year deal worth $11.6 million per year to stay at Indiana.
Honestly, good for him, though, and good for Indiana, because I actually think this is how it should be. I really don't like it when coaches finally get a little bit of momentum and then he immediately drop everything and just go to the bigger program. I mean, honestly, good for Indiana.
So is he going to say that when Matt Rule becomes the Penn State
It's going to be Matt Rule.
That's what it seems like.
Matt Rule gets a little bit of momentum going at Nebraska. You're preaching against what your future coach is about to be.
I'm just saying, honestly, unless it's like Nick Saban, I don't think the coach is really going to matter, because I just think they have to rebuild everything from the ground up at this point.
Hey, you know why it's not going to matter? Because Penn State never wins.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, by the way, somebody asked,
you're right.
B-Rad is Rad asked, where's Bundy on the all-time defenseman assist list for the Flyers?
I'll find it.
Top 20.
That's still good. That's still pretty
I don't
damn
even
good.
know if I'm top 20, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but we'll have Andrew look that one up. Because I'm curious now myself. When I saw that, I'm like, I wonder.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I wonder. Because, how many guys – look, you weren't –
16th.
16th, okay.
Look, you were right.
You're right. You're right in front of Coburn.
In front of Coburn and 5 behind let's see.
Andre Dupont.
Moose. The Moose.
Yep. Bundy, we could get
do you want to get back out there for a couple more? Just to pass
I'm good.
Bundy, I would think it's actually kind of attainable. Let's see, you're at 130. If we got you 10 more, that would get you up to 14th all time. I could see a path. 2 years from now, when Connor McDavid signs with the Flyers, I could see it. Yeah, why not? All right, so intern, thank you. Great stat.
You got it.
Good stuff, Andrew.
All right, so Bundy, we touched on this very briefly pregame, but I think it's worth a conversation now. The news of the day had nothing to do with the Flyers. It had to do with a former Flyer. Carter Hart signed a 2-year deal with the Vegas Golden Knights. Obviously, hockey Twitter didn't make a big deal out of that at all.
No.
He was eligible, apparently, according to Ant, to sign a contract yesterday. Are you surprised that he got signed as quickly as he did? And I guess, he theoretically would be eligible to play here December 11th. Do you think he'll be in the lineup?
I think if Vegas plays here and he's on their team and he's up to snuff, he'll play here.
Yeah.
I think he will for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, he's 27 years old. Apparently he'd been skating quite a bit and taking shots. I know they're not NHL caliber shots, but he's still been keeping himself in some form of working his profession. So we'll see how it works out for him. It's not a big gamble either way for Vegas. They didn't pay out the roof for him. And it'll give him an opportunity to come in and see if he can show some glimpses of what he was before.
I mean, again, I get it. I get what Vegas is trying to do here. And they're hoping that maybe they catch a little lightning in the bottle. It doesn't cost them much, right? You're talking about
did he sign a PTO or a contract?
Well, he's in a PTO right now, but assuming that everything goes well in training and in the AHL to get ready by December 1st, it would be a 2-year, 1.8
per year.
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
I actually kind of wonder if that was a technicality just on because there's that grace period between eligible to sign versus eligible to play. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to pay. The NHL, your salaries are all done daily, right? Everybody looks at the annual average annual value, right? And that's how you kind of figure out the overall cap for the year. But there is a daily cap in the NHL, and teams have to manage it, right? So it makes sense to come in on a tryout contract because that doesn't impact that daily cap and wait until you're actually going to play to kick that money in and have it count in your daily cap, right? So, it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to answer Alex Town, he's not on a PTO for 2 years.
No, he's on a PTO until he gets his contract.
Right. The contract will come when he's ready to join the team, probably December 1st.
Correct.
Yeah.
The statement they put out was really weird. I'll call it what it is. So Amy's right here. Says Vegas would have been better just saying they needed a better goaltender than the statement they released.
The statement was a bad statement.
It was a stupid statement.
Yeah, it was stupid.
About we're bringing him in, but we stand by our core values. The hell does that mean?
Yeah, what are your core values if you sign the guy?
And also, what does that mean?
Right. What are your core values?
By the way, what does
your
that
core
mean?
values are we want to win. That's why we're signing the guy.
Which of your core values are you potentially violating or going against in signing the player? Like, if they sign any free agent, they don't talk about the core values. So the fact that they felt the need to say it,
yes,
that was the thing. And now, there are a lot of really incendiary tweets. You can feel however you want to feel about it. There are some people who have gone very far one way on it, and they're calling him certain things that I don't necessarily think are fair, even for as critical as I've been of the situation. I don't think you can call him certain things. But they could have just said, we needed to get better. Like, we're bringing in a player that we think is going to help our team.
Yeah.
And end of discussion. It was just a very, very strange statement to put out. I don't know what they're thinking. It feels like a weird attempt to mitigate the bad PR that they knew they were going to get. What's ultimately going to be interesting is his reception, because it seems right now online the Vegas Golden Knights fans are largely against the move. But if we're honest, and you saw kids scream.
But I tell you what was the funny part about it. I hate to interrupt what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you have the camera guy who's here shooting Michael, the organist, right?
Yes.
And there's these kids standing off to the side watching Michael play. And the camera guy panned to the kids, and they got all excited, started screaming and excited, whatever, because they're going to be on the screen. And the security person yelled at them to get lost, and they ran away.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
That's what was funny. He put them on camera, which is why they yelled. She yelled at them. They ran away. It was really kind of fun.
But just to wrap it up, the Vegas fans seemed against it. My question is, we know fans can be fickle. Right now, the Vegas fan base is against it. If he goes out and he plays 2, 3, 4 games well and has a shutout, it's probably going to mitigate. The real question I'm going to have about him and about his play, you brought this up pregame. He was pretty open about the fact that he saw a sports psychologist since he was young.
Yeah.
And he got rattled a lot here.
Do you remember that time I asked him a question and he almost cried?
Yes.
Who's this?
Hart.
Oh, yeah.
I asked him a question and he was near tears.
Yes.
And it was on a Zoom.
Yeah.
That was back when we weren't allowed in the locker room because it was after COVID. And he was, and he was just, if I remember correctly, Russ, wasn't the line something along the lines of, I just want to fall in love with, or I just want to be able to love the game I fell in love with as a kid again?
I think it was something
that. Along those lines? Yeah.
So I just think about he's going to go into all of these visiting arenas, and he's going to get booed pretty mercilessly. And so you gotta, if you want to see him succeed, there are a lot of people that are watching this right now who want to see him succeed. You better hope that the mental kind of toughening, I guess, you'd have to have is going to happen. Otherwise, it could get really ugly out there real fast. I guess the good news, if you're a Flyers fan, is there's a resolution here that he is not here. So it's no longer kind of hanging out there where part of the fan base says, oh, what if the Flyers get involved? That's now off the table.
Oh, it's been off the table, though.
Yeah.
Because,
but people have been still kind of holding on to some threads of hope.
That's
Yeah.
Some people go too far with clinging to hope for something that was never going to happen. And look, I know people are sitting there saying, "Oh, if he plays well, nobody will care." I think that's a little hyperbolic as well. If he plays well, it'll probably be less, but there's always going to be people that care.
Yeah.
Right. There's always going to be people that are opposed to this.
Yeah.
It happens all the time in sports when you have players who are involved in something that is a lot of people think is not good.
Yeah.
And then they come back and play in their league, whatever the case might be. Even if it gets past the point where it's not front page news again, there's always still an element of it there.
Hey, Bundy, really quick. As a visiting player, when you're getting booed, and it's just like the usual kind of stuff that you go because you're an opposing player, you have to kind of tune that out. When it's something that's like a more personal thing, right? Like I'm sure that at some point somebody yelled something at you that felt much more personal than just, you're a visiting player and I hate you. Is that kind of stuff harder to I guess, drown out?
I don't know. I never had anybody say anything super personal to me.
Okay.
Just to give you the regular stuff, like you suck, you're from the other. Yeah, but no, I never heard anything personal, Russ.
Do you think that kind of thing could be harder?
You're a pylon out there, Bundy.
Yeah. That's not even personal. That's really just like you can laugh at it. Yeah. I didn't care if I got booed on the road. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Who cares? You got to play the game no matter what.
I love your attitude, pal. I really do. Best.
Speaking of playing the game, we know that the most important time of a period is the first 5 minutes. So, Bundy, the Flyers coming out of the tunnel here, it's not a game that's gotten out of hand. They only had 3 shots in the first period. What do they have to do to get themselves more opportunities early in the second period?
Well, they've done a good job, I think, in the middle of the ice, keeping Winnipeg to the perimeter, and Winnipeg's tried to get in the middle of the ice. I think the Flyers need to get more of a forecheck established and start possessing the puck a little bit more in the Winnipeg zone. Easier said than done, but I do think they need to hang on to the puck a little bit more in the O zone.
Yeah. Real quick, Bundy, I just want to get your thoughts on Cam York's first period back.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect. He bobbled the puck a few times. That's normal. It's his first game. He's the one that's trying to settle in right now, though, to his new surroundings as well.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. But I also thought he was their best defenseman in camp before he got hurt.
Yeah, he had a good camp.
I thought he had a really good camp.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, we'll be back second intermission and post-game here on the Press Row Show. Do us a favor if you haven't done so already. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe over on YouTube. We'll talk to all of you in the second intermission here on the Press Row Show. Welcome into the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame, intermission, and postgame show this side of the Mississippi South, the Arctic Circle, north of the equator. Sam Harrison, give it Sam Harrison, take it away. 3-1. Where to start? We said that the Flyers were going to have to up the shot production. They did in that period. They did by a lot. They only had 3 shots at the end of the first. They ended up with 15. That's it, 12 in the second period.
It was most of the period was played in the Winnipeg end.
Yeah, I thought the Flyers had a really good period. Nothing to be ashamed of. You got to get a save. You have to get a save.
And it's really the second goal, right? I mean, yeah, the third goal, you kind of
a little fluky.
It bounces off of Noah Cates' pants and then it gets banged in, right? So you don't put that one on Sam Harrison, but that second goal, awful. He's got a clear look at it. It's from the top of the circle. There's no traffic, and it just beats him.
That's a goal, just can't go in.
Right.
It's a long shot.
Yeah.
It's a short side. Just get your glove on it. That's it.
And that's the thing where it's always a situation, I feel like, with him, where you say, oh, well, he had a good game except, that one goal. Yeah, if he would have just made that one more save.
Ryan A. is totally right. We say the same thing every game.
Yeah.
And then there's this other one that he said, he's been terrible every single game since he got here. I don't know if it's that far, but it is. It's every freaking Harrison start for the most part in the last year and a half.
Yeah, there's that one goal, and you say, but that's indicative of a goalie who is no better than a backup. Right? Like
we said at the end of last year that I think he's a backup.
Right. And that's it. I mean, look, a backup is not going to make that save all the time, whereas you expect your starter to make that save more often than not.
Yeah.
Right?
Flyers have played a good game, though. In spite of that bad second goal that went in and got them behind the 8 ball, they've played a really strong period. They've carried the play. They've really, really put a lot of pressure on the Winnipeg defense. They've turned pucks over. They've kept pucks in at the blue line. They've done a good job. And their power play was great. Did everything but score.
No, I agree. I thought it was a really good period for everybody but the goalie. Like, I thought that they played pretty well. I didn't look at. They've only given up 9 shots through 2 periods, and they're down 3-1.
667 save percentage. That ain't gonna help.
No, it's not. And look. Talk was going to always alternate these guys for a little bit, and so whether Harrison had a really good game tonight or not, I think Vladar was going to be in Saturday against Minnesota.
Yeah.
But I think when you see the performance that he's having right now, I have to start wondering about Monday against Seattle.
Oh.
That's the one where I think maybe you go if Vladar has another good game on Saturday. Maybe you go Vladar again on Monday. That's the one. Saturday, don't be shocked. They're starting Vladar because Harrison's struggling. No, I think that they were alternating, until somebody kind of took the lead in the race.
Right.
And then if Vladar has a good game Saturday, then I think Monday might be the game when you see the first time somebody goes 2 in a row.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? I mean, that's kind of how I see it. You okay with that, Russ? I know you're on. My favorite thing with you when we come down here every year is every year you hitch your wagon to a different goal.
I do. I was telling the intern. We were talking about during the period. I was like, it's like the backup quarterback thing, on sports talk radio. Like there was remember the Jeff Garcia thing where it was like everybody wanted Jeff Garcia and over Donovan and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, I do tend to root for the backup a little bit. I do. It's who I am, right? I don't know why. Even last year, I always wanted to see Fedot because I always liked the idea of Fedot top, whatever. I always pick the loser, right? I do. I pick WCW over WWF. I picked the Philly teams over the Pittsburgh teams when I could have chosen one or the other as a Schuylkill County kid.
Yeah.
And up until recently, that looked like a really bad choice. Although I'm happy that I picked the Philly teams, but I tend to pick incorrectly. It's just who I am. I don't have a choice. The only thing I've ever picked, the only person I've ever picked correctly is my wife. That is legitimately
there you go.
She's the only one. The only one.
And Nancy's awesome. I'm just curious. We've never had this conversation. I don't think this is the time to do it. But at some point, I'd like to know. I'd like to know about the ones that fell behind Nancy.
There were many. There were so many. A lot of interested parties, and I did not have the interest back.
Hey, Donald. Morgan Barron scored a goal.
Morgan Barron, he's
Jets.
a great Baron, but he's not quite as great as the Red Baron, nor is he my Baron, who's, I believe, 6'7" at this 6'7" at this point, 6'7" Baron. He's very big. He's a massive human being. He's a great guy, great kid, great Jet, but not as great of a Jet as Luchanko. Do we love Luchanko, folks, do we?
You have a Jet, don't you, Donald?
I have a great Jet. It's from Qatar. We love Qatar, don't we?
Jet made a great play in that last period too.
Yeah, he
Did a great job coming back on a 2-on-1. He broke the play up, really probably saved the goal. He's been up and down though.
Yeah,
too many turnovers at the blue lines.
Yeah,
and he just can't get enough minutes to establish anything out there.
Yeah, you can see the flashes, right? Like you see things with him and you go, I see what they really like in him. But he's so young and makes so many inexperienced mistakes.
Yeah,
still.
Yeah, little turnovers and stuff, like little chip plays. He's not getting it out of the zone and stuff like that. And that'll be hard because those are plays that coaches watch the next day and they get really ornery about them.
Yeah.
There was one of the guys that I thought was kind of having an iffy game up until he put the biscuit in the basket was Owen Tippett. He's had some plays in this game. I mean, listen, Tippett is a frustrating player because the physical tools are there. The speed is unreal. He'll throw up an occasional highlight goal that makes you wonder how the heck he does it, right? But then he has some games where you're just like, the hockey IQ just doesn't feel like it's there. He makes a lot of boneheaded plays.
Yeah.
And so you watch him through, I think, the first period and a half tonight, and there were multiple. There's a thing that was going around on Twitter. He has a wide open net, like a wide open shot on the forehand. Nobody even remotely close to him. He hangs onto it, flips to the backhand, and then I think he ends up hitting a teammate with it. And you go, what the hell is he thinking? And then he's the one to finally get the breakthrough tonight. Bundy, he's still young-ish. There's still positive upside to him. I know that there's
Who's that, Russ?
Tippett,
yeah.
He's very frustrating. He makes a lot of very frustrating plays, but then he has those moments that, he can go on a little bit of run. He's a streaky guy.
He's super talented.
What do you do if you're the coach to try to build off of that goal, build off of that good moment, and try to keep him away from all the other goofy, dumb things that he can do in the course of a game?
He scores in bunches, right? He scores over a course of a certain amount of games, and then he kind of goes quiet a little bit. That's been his MO pretty much his whole career.
Yeah.
Again, he just needs to, when he's offensive like that, when he has the puck and he's skating, keep doing what he's doing. In the zone, though, he's just got to come low on the boards and make sure that sometimes he doesn't turn the puck over, he eats the puck sometimes. You have to play defense sometimes, and sometimes you got to play defense with the puck, so you're not just turning it over. But, he was skating on that play where he scored, and boy, he's got a lot of talent. He can shoot, he can fly out there when he's doing it, he gets open space, he can be a real special player.
You know who looked awful on his goal?
Yeah, Jonathan Toews.
Holy cow.
Yeah, he does.
Cow.
He looks like he's lost out there a little bit.
Yeah, I know he's coming back after a long layoff, and you know what? You got to kind of give him a little bit of grace in seeing what if he can get back to some semblance of the player that he was. But man, he looks like he shouldn't be on the ice at all.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, he's made a lot of mistakes. His skating doesn't look like it's up to snuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's a great leader, and maybe over time his game will pick up a little bit because I'm sure he's got a lot to offer that locker room.
You want to talk about a great leader? There's a great leader of trivia time, and his name is Intern Andrew. Let's bring him onto the show.
Where's our music?
Right now.
Thank you very much. So let's go back to April of 2013. The Flyers made a trade with the Columbus Blue Jackets to bring in a young goaltender by the name of Steve Mason, who was the goalie here for 5 years, appeared in 231 games, 104 wins, which still stands for third on the Flyers' all-time list. So in the summer of 2017, left the Flyers and signed a 2-year contract with the Jets. And I think the idea in Winnipeg was he was going to split time with, at the time, a very young Connor Hellebuck. Unfortunately, very injury-riddled season for Mason. Only played 13 games for the Jets. But his career actually didn't end in Winnipeg because the following offseason, he ended up getting traded one more time, though he never appeared in a game for this other team because they put him on waivers immediately after the trade was made. So who was the last team that Mason got traded to?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know.
Minnesota Wild.
No.
Was it an Eastern Conference team?
Was.
Was it Tampa Bay?
Nope.
No.
He didn't get traded to Buffalo, did he? No, he
Not
never played
Buffalo.
Well, we can keep throwing teams out until we get it right.
Someone's going to get it eventually, right?
Someone got it.
Huh?
Don't look.
I won't
Spencer Turnbull got it.
Don't look. Oh, I love Spencer Turnbull. That's a guy that didn't get a fair shake.
Yeah. No hitters and Flyers trivia. Well, I guess it's technically Jets trivia, but
So he waived him and he never played again.
yeah. I actually didn't know this. I don't remember this. I didn't learn it until this morning because I had no memory.
Well, come in.
The last team he was traded to.
If you tell us who he was traded for, would that give it away?
I don't think so. The Jets got an AHL player in return. I would say that he got traded with Joel Armia.
Oh, well, that would be Montreal.
It was Canadians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be Montreal. Yeah.
All right.
How about that? I don't remember him going to Montreal either.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. I know Armia's been there ever since. So.
Well, he's on the Kings now.
Yeah, he is.
But not to bring up like last year's discussions, but just looking at his numbers when he was here, the fact that he wasn't on the quarter century team just makes no sense. It had .917 save percentage. While
He was the best goalie of the last 25 years.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Really, I mean, he was better than Carter Hart.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah, while he was here.
Yeah, I mean, watch his playoff series against the Rangers. He was unbelievable.
He was an interesting dude, right?
Yeah, I liked Steve Mason. I traveled with him all those years I was doing radio and TV.
Yeah.
I liked Mace.
Yeah, he was an interesting guy.
Good trivia.
Yeah, that was
Good job.
Good job.
Interns had a nice night.
He
had a good
has.
showing. We'll have to see how he does post game.
He had a good night the other night too. With
He's like 2 for 2 this year.
Yeah,
Good for him.
on fire.
Hey, you know what? It's the 3rd year of doing this, and he's coming into his own.
It's about damn time. Maybe we'll drop the intern title at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey,
Let's not get ahead of
let's
ourselves.
not get crazy here.
All
right.
good.
Thank you.
Hey, by the way, this has nothing to do with anything that we're doing here tonight, but someone reminded me of this via text a couple minutes ago. And I just wanted to bring it up, Russ, since, Russ, you're a huge wrestling guy, and I know Bundy was a wrestling guy back in the day.
Bill Meltzer's a big wrestling guy.
Bill Meltzer's a big wrestling guy.
Yeah.
So when I was out in LA with the Phillies, right? We do like a post game wrap up kind of thing called Philly Stoplight, and so we're there. We're standing in the stands, and it's an hour and a half to 2 hours after the game. So there's no fans left in the stadium, the Dodger Stadium, and we're talking, and all like we're as up above us, maybe 10 rows where the concourse is for people to walk by. And I see this big muscle-bound guy walking. And I'm thinking, all right, must be security or something. But then there's 2 little kids come running by, and a blonde woman walking with the kids. And I'm like, why are there fans still in the stadium? They stop right in front of us. So we have the camera kind of where our camera is. And then it's like a few rows, and then it's the concourse. And they stop, and he's looking right at us and goes like this. Just a little nod. And I went, holy hell, it's John Cena.
Get it? No, it wasn't.
Was John Cena.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Wait, how could you see him?
Well, very good. Very good. Yeah, no, but I couldn't believe it.
John Cena was at the Dodgers.
And gave a little nod and then kept walking. And that was it. No words exchanged. No, nothing was said. And I stopped the thing in the middle of it because Tim was talking. I'm like, Tim, I just got to announce to everybody right now that John Cena was right there, right in front of us, and just kind of acknowledged us.
How about that?
Was that wild?
That was this year?
That was game 3.
Oh, you went out to LA for those
I was
games.
out in LA, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was game 3.
He actually gave Ant the AA and said, your time is up, my time is now.
Yeah, it was wild. Totally wild. Yeah.
Ant had a concussion. He doesn't remember. He blacked out.
So anyway, I thought you'd appreciate
That's very cool.
that little story.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Look at that, John Cena.
So where are we at? 2:57.
Yeah.
Isn't it that time to answer questions, Rob?
No, I don't want to ask you about the first 5 minutes because I don't care. I don't care about the first 5 minutes of the third period. Bundy, I want a feasible path to the Flyers forcing overtime in this period. They got a ton of shots on Halbeck in the second period. What can they do? What do they need to do to get 2 more and to hopefully not have a dumb Sam Ersson goal and get themselves to overtime.
One thing they've done a good job of in this game is staying out of the penalty box. Winnipeg had a power play last year that was better than 29% on the season. They got most of their bodies back except for Nikolai Ehlers, who's in Carolina now.
Yeah.
So the Flyers need to make sure they don't give them a free chance. The Flyers have a 2-0 lead right now in the power play department. So the refs, I always believe they're looking to even things up. But as for the game itself, 5-on-5, I don't think the Flyers need to change anything. Keep peppering the net, keep getting plays in, keep doing a good job getting breakouts in from your own zone and attacking with speed. I think they've been fine in this game. If their goaltenders let them down on that one goal, the Flyers more than alive here, and they need to come out and find a way to score 1 goal first here before anything else.
Anthony, what do you think of the Flyers' chances of getting back in this one?
Well, I think they could get back in it. It's 1 goal gets you back in it, right? I mean, and they played like I said, they played a pretty good second period. So you keep doing that, and I think you can get that goal and get back in it. Do I think that they have enough there to get 3 goals?
Only need 2 to get that point, man.
Well, maybe. But I'm not sure you're scoring 3 more times on Hellebuyck in the next 25 minutes.
We did have somebody in pregame predict a shootout win for the Flyers. That would be interesting tonight.
Yeah, you could see that happening.
Yeah. Fun. What do you say?
Landros is pretty funny, actually.
Somewhere tonight, John Cena's telling a buddy he said hi to Anthony SanFilippo.
It's pretty funny. It's good.
All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. Peter Tom Willis wants some hype. You want some hype? We'll give you some hype. The Philadelphia Flyers were peppering Connor Hellebuyck in the second period, and they're going to do it again. They're going to pepper him. They're going to assault him. They're going to assault him, and they're going to pepper him, and they're going to paprika him with shots in the third period. And we are going to reconvene, not at the end of the third period. We'll reconvene at the end of overtime, maybe even at the end of a shootout. Or not. I don't know. But we'll be back post-game no matter what.
Here, what are you doing? Why do you get them all fired up?
We'll be back here post-game. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. We'll talk to each and every one of you post-game here.
Let the Chihuahua out.
On the present.
Shifley with 2
Hi,
goals.
hello. Welcome into the Press Row Show, the #1 rated pregame, intermission, and postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator. We might be the #1 rated show. Sam Harrison is decidedly not the #1 goalie of your team, your town, your Philadelphia Flyers. This was not a pretty one if you're a fan of the man who once was the crowned #1 on this team. And I know it's early. It's still early in the season. There's no reason to give up on a guy yet. But, Bundy, I'm going to go over to you first. We said going into this one, it kind of was a big game for Harrison. Vladars had 2 really good starts, both against the Panthers, got them their win on Monday night. This isn't like a back-breaking thing. It's not necessarily going to mean that Harrison is now the backup. But he did not really rise to the occasion in this game.
No, but I think Talk put forward a mini tryout for both guys, playing them every other game until someone solidifies it. And again, he gave up 4 goals again tonight. One of them was not a good goal. The Shifley first goal he scored. The second goal of the game. Really put the Flyers behind the 8 ball trying to chase his hockey game. You need to make that one extra save. That's what Harrison's problem's been since he's been here with the Flyers. He just needs to get that one extra save, and that would make a difference in the game. He's played well at times, but you just can't let that softy in that can break the back of your team. Now, the Flyers in the third period, though, Winnipeg put a clinic on.
Yep.
They put an absolute clinic on in the third period. That's how you play a road game. You check, you keep everything to the perimeter, keep the shots from the perimeter, all the playmaking, and they bided their time. They got that one power play. I said they don't want to give the Winnipeg a power play. They did. Shifley ended up capitalizing, which made it was that 4-1? I believe it was 4-1 at that point. So, and that's kind of the way the flow went. But, good goaltending by Winnipeg. Hellebuck was really good in this game when he had to be. But the Flyers, to be honest with you, needed more shots in that third period, and they weren't able to muster any up.
It felt like a bookended kind of game. The Jets were excellent at limiting the Flyers' opportunities in the first period. They were obviously excellent in the third period, didn't allow an even-strength shot in the third period. I think the only 2 shots, right, in the third came on the power play, or came with man advantage.
Well,
it was the man advantage with Michkov at the end where they pulled the goalie.
I guess it's technically still even strength because it's 5-on-5, but they pulled the goalie.
Right?
So they had an extra
skater. Yeah, we'll go extra skater. To me, it was like the first and the third, Flyers didn't have a lot of good opportunities. Second period, they did pepper Hellebuck with a ton of shots. They had 3 shots after 1. They had 15 shots after 2. So they quadrupled their shot production in the second period. It felt like they had built some good momentum. They were getting things going. That third, they just got absolutely stifled.
Yeah. They were in quicksand, and that was because of the way Winnipeg played. They played a perfect third period. Couldn't have played it any better. The only blemish against them was that 6-on-5 goal that Michkov scored, and it was kind of a broken play. Went across, nice shot by Michkov. That made it 4-2, and then the Flyers had another opportunity again to try to get another one back with about 2 minutes left before they pulled their goalie again, and that's where Michkov turned it over to whoever it was that scored the 5th goal. I think was it Niederreiter? Maybe it was Niederreiter. I can't remember. But anyway, that was Hellebuck's first win in Philadelphia ever.
Yeah.
He had lost his 4 previous attempts in Philadelphia.
Just a matter of time.
Which is wild because of how great a goalie he is, right? You would think that, he would win at least as bad as the Flyers have been and as good as he's been.
Yeah.
You would think he would have had at least 1 win prior to tonight, but now he didn't.
Let's go back to Michkov because obviously he was one of the big stories coming into this. He had gone 3 games without a point. He didn't exactly look great tonight. I wouldn't say that he was a real impact player for the team. He does get that goal in the third. Given everything that's kind of surrounded him, the conditioning, the ankle injury, all of the away from the ice talk, Bundy, do you think that goal kind of gives him a little bit of pep in the step, maybe gives a little bit of boost to the spirits? Perhaps it gets a little bit of the heat and the pressure off?
Yeah, nice to see him score a goal. I mean, he's really been pressing, I think, a lot, and he's been a little bit behind the 8 ball in terms of the play on the ice. So it was nice to see him join that rush and score that goal. He turned it over right after, though, at the play at the blue line, again, where you're trying to keep it in. So he's just got to get on his game a little bit more, but hopefully a goal will propel him to something. The Florida Panthers have lost 3 in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, all on the road. He came out on the road 3-0 at home. He got on the road, lost 3 in a row in regulation.
The interesting thing with Michkov.
See you, Mike. Take care, buddy.
Yep, is
Mike, by the way, big Darth Vladar fan.
He likes the idea.
He was noting that he thought Vladar the other night.
Mike the organist is a fan. Is he a fan of Vladar, or is he a fan of the idea of calling him Darth Vladar?
No, he actually likes Vladar the player. He didn't know about Darth Vladar until now. I did tell him though that if there's a home game and Ersson gets pulled for Vladar, he's got to play the Imperial March.
Oh, I like it.
I do almost like Duran had that. He had the mashup right coming in the 9th inning.
So
we need something equivalent
Russ,
to that for Darth Vladar.
You're a sharp guy, man. Like you get your stuff on the Flyers commercials with the Danny Briere. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, every time Darth Vladar comes into a hockey game, you're gonna get the Imperial March on the organ.
Yep.
You see, now that's an idea. Like when he leads them onto the ice.
Yes.
Have the arena go dark and just play the.
Yeah. So
right?
if he sets himself apart as the number one, like we'll obviously go tell the Flyers this now. They're going to listen. They have to.
Yeah, they have to listen.
Star Wars night's probably coming up, right? It's usually early in the season.
Yeah, they do have a Star Wars night, but I think it's later actually.
Yeah. Oh, they made it later this year?
Yeah.
Get ready for shop.snowthegoalie.com. That's all I have to tell you. There may be something coming up soon. People are going to be very excited. Anyway, let's get back to the game, for better or worse. Cam York's first game of the season. Any thoughts on his first game back?
I thought he played pretty well. He made he mishandled the puck a couple times, but he hasn't played. First game back, you're allowed to make some errors, but I thought he played a pretty good positionally sound game.
No, I mean that's Bundy's got it right. Look, if you want like analysis on an individual defenseman, are you going to ask me, or are you going to ask the guy who played the position in the league?
I'm going to ask you. Not. Hey, real quick, I saw this by Tony Louie, and this is one of the I hate this line. Two things can be true at once. It says can't blame the goalie when they score one goal through 58 minutes.
Well, yeah,
we're fair to point out and to criticize some of the at least one of the goals that was given up, and the fact that the goal that the really bad goal, the second goal, kind of killed a little bit of momentum because it felt like the Flyers were getting themselves back in the game and it was almost immediate.
Yeah. So you're exactly right, Russ. So okay, if you're looking at the entirety of the game in a 5-2 loss, right? Are you going to sit here and say they lost the game because Sam Ersson had a bad game? No. That's not the reason they lost the game. But there was enough there to criticize Sam Ersson. He faced 14 shots and only stopped 10. Okay? That is worthy of criticism. He gives up a goal that he has to make a save on that turns a 1-goal game into a 2-goal game late in the second period. That's impacting the game. He's not the reason they lost, but he's a reason they lost.
If he doesn't give up that goal and you continue that little wave of momentum, maybe it goes the other way. Maybe the Flyers do get a second goal. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah. If it's 2-1 after 2 periods, maybe it's a little bit different. Or I'm sorry, 1-1 after 2 periods. Yeah. That's what I meant to say. Yeah,
Bottom line is they were down 1-0. You can't give up the second goal.
Yeah,
you cannot give up the second goal.
Right.
So it's I know what he's saying. That the Flyers have, but they did score a goal. But you can't give up the bad one. Yeah. And if the game's tied, who knows what it's like going into the third period. Yeah. So it's. I agree with Anthony's take. He is one of the reasons.
Yeah, he's not the reason.
Right. He's not the only reason. Right. Could the Flyers have scored more? Sure. We'd have loved to have scored more goals. They didn't. They have faced Connor Hellebuck. He's the best goalie in the league.
He looked great tonight.
He played really well tonight.
He only had to be honest, he only had to face 15 shots himself.
17.
The Flyers did a good job clogging things
17,
up. Yeah.
17.
Yeah, 15 saves. I'm sorry.
Because don't forget, the Flyers managed to put 2 shots.
Yeah, 17 shots, 15 saves. Yes.
Brutal.
Yeah, the Flyers did a good job clogging things up too tonight, though. They did. I think they kept a lot of stuff to the perimeter of the ice.
When was the last? I mean, I'm sure it was recent, but I mean, it's not regular anymore in this game today that you have a game where both teams are under 20 shots.
Yeah, very rare.
Like pretty rare.
Very
right?
rare.
Yeah, 17 and 15. This goes back to like your era when the Devils were just choking everybody to death in a neutral zone, left wing lock and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a new narrative, by the way, and this is just going to continue, and I'm going to let everybody know that if you want to break Anthony, if you have been waiting all this time, all these years to break Anthony SanFilippo, I want you to put up quotes. I want you to put in comments like this one by Joseph, who's talking about, the defensive core as a whole. But then I want the last line of it where Zeev Buium is brought up again, because that is going to. Ant, do you remember how for the longest time?
Look,
I'm
don't know.
I'm gonna get you even angrier.
Go ahead.
Do you know how for the longest time we would talk about Cam York, and on draft night I said Cole Caulfield, that's the pick, and they traded down and they chose to take Cam York, and that has been the thing that a lot of people have held on to for quite a long time, right? That's been the 1-to-1 comparison, and then like for the last year you've seen like Drysdale and Gauthier, and it does feel like now is going to be the Luchanko versus Buium.
So, two things on this. All right, first on the York versus Caulfield. There's no question Caulfield's a better player than Cam York, but again, context is key. The rationale was they felt that the combination of York and Brink would be more valuable to the team than one player in Caulfield. And we don't know the answer to that long term yet. Like, you're seeing both players kind of develop and grow, and maybe within the next couple of years, all of a sudden you're looking at that and saying, okay, because we took York, we were waiting to take Brink, and he's turned into this player, and York is a pretty solid number 2 defenseman, right? I mean, who knows? Maybe you look at it and go, yeah, ultimately that was better for the franchise than drafting one guy who's a goal scorer. Maybe not. Maybe it is Caulfield. As far as Buium, I have no idea what Zeev Buium is going to be, right? Ultimately, I'm not going to sit here and predict what he's going to be, just like I'm not going to sit here and predict what Jett Luchanko is going to be. But if anybody's watching Zeev Buium right now, he's a power play specialist. He's Shane Gostisbehere.
Oh, Jesus.
Right now, that's what he is. He may become something more than that, but he's not good defensively. He's 19. He's 19 or 20. He might be 20. But he's not impressing other than the fact that he could put up points on the power play. He's got that skill. That's great. But you got to be more than a one-trick pony, right, Bundy?
Yeah, you can't just be a power play guy, especially if you're young. You got to learn and adapt to the game. I like Buium. He's a good player. He skates well. Came up in the playoffs and played pretty well last year with Minnesota. But, yeah, I mean, there's always somebody in a draft where you say coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah,
of course. It's that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, of course. And this is
the big concern there.
Just to reply to Tony Louie, who says the talent Buium has you cannot teach. You could teach him how to play better defensively. Well, if that's the case, why didn't it work for Gostisbehere? Why hasn't it worked so far for Jamie Drysdale? Very similar kind of profiles, right? When they were coming into the league, right? Similar profile. You could teach them, but they haven't kind of gotten it yet.
It'd be nice if Drysdale could actually
help
on the power play.
That's all I was going to say.
I think that's actually the most frustrating thing is like, you could say you could be a power play merchant. Drysdale was supposed to at least be a power play merchant, and that hasn't really come to fruition yet. And he's not a good defensive defenseman. So I don't know. Yeah. The hope obviously is that things are going to get better. I'm going to really quickly bring in intern Andrew. Is there anything that you saw in this game that you got really super stoked about?
So, I mean, it was definitely good that Michkov finally got on the score sheet. He definitely needed that. Other than that, a whole lot of nothing, I would say.
You know what he's most excited about? Intern Andrew?
Intern?
He's got a perfect record so far this year in picking games.
4-0, yeah.
He does.
You really?
Yeah.
Both of us do.
Ant does as well, and Ant has a perfect score. So just to update people on the standings right now, Ant is in the lead with 5 points. Intern Andrew 4 points. I have 3. Bundy has 2.
Okay.
So we're in a nice little
good start.
And it's actually a pretty strong start, all things considered.
It is a good start.
I mean, when the lowest scorer right now is batting 500 on the season, that's not bad.
No, we're
having look at us.
We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out.
Good for us.
Yeah.
Hey. All right. Well, we'll be back on Saturday. So, intern, thank you. Nice stat of the night tonight.
By the way,
nice trivia time.
It's crazy how many games we have between now and Thanksgiving.
Let's not talk about it.
It's nuts, right?
It's unbelievable.
And they're all at home, basically.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're all home games. It's wild.
Yes.
There's going to be a stretch. There's going to be a stretch of time where we're going to not see each other at all.
You think this is wild? How about Saturday, the Minnesota Wild? Right. We'll be back at 6:30 p.m. here on the Press Row Show. If you haven't done so already, go back and check out the episode that we did on Wednesday. over at Chickies and Pizza Malvern. If you're new and you don't know this, we're now doing Snow the Goalie radio every Wednesday from a different Chickies and Pizza location. Next week, plan on it, we'll be in Warrington. The week after, we'll be in Drexel Hill. So mark those Wednesday nights on your calendar. Those are 6 o'clock starts. Saturday, we're back here at 6:30. We are up in the balcony level next to the organ. It goes organ, intern Andrew, and then all of us. We'll hope that you'll find your way down here to the Xfinity Mobile Arena. I certainly hope that more people are in the building on Saturday than there were tonight.
It's a Saturday. It'll be
a lot more busy.
It'll be busier.
And I hope it's a raucous crowd.
Yeah. The one good thing is Minnesota will be on the second leg of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
They're down in Washington tomorrow, and then they come up here.
Oh, good.
Well, that's good. All right. Look at intern giving us some positivity to look forward to.
I'm trying my best.
Your best. The losers always whine about that best.
All right.
All right, we will be back on Saturday. In the meantime, like the video, share the video, subscribe to Snow the Goalie on YouTube, and you can find this in the podcast feed over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, and wherever you get your podcasts. For Bundy, for Ant, for intern Andrew, I'm Russ. Thanks for watching, maybe even listening to The Press Row Show, the #1 pregame, intermission, postgame show. Bye now.